that is bad. Oh, who let that ugly guy in here? Art is really strange in that, you know, as it's put out, it's never truly the final product. In a way, I don't think there really is such a thing as a final product. I think that creating is more or less just settling with one version of an idea. I mean, in filmmaking, I settle all the time, you know, for all sorts of things and for all sorts of different reasons, you know, not having a location, not having the funds to do a certain thing, not being as well versed in film language at a certain point, and a lot of this stuff stopped me from making the things that I had the idea for to an extent. I had to kind of settle. And as a result of this, a lot of the stuff that I would put out would never be something that I was 100% comfortable with. And even when I did reach that place, like when I made something I was proud of or something that I was comfortable with or something that was what I wanted in the first place, I would look back at it later and think, wow, there's so many different things I could have done differently. I think that hindsight is an art in itself. It's its own thing. You get to see and experience what it's like to evolve and to change your ideas and to see how your old ideas are influenced now in later stuff. What I do in my projects whenever I finish something and look back at it later is, more or less, I try again. So towards the end of last year, I decided it might be a fun idea to remake a sketch that I made in 2010. It was a weird and fun and kind of bad thing that I made called Memory Fight, and the concept of it was cute, the execution of it was pretty okay, especially for who I was and what I did in 2010. And towards the end of last year, I just figured it would be something that'd be fun and easy to replicate, and using some of the new stuff that I've learned, it would be justified, it would be worth it to try and make again. So I shot it in its entirety, and I started to edit it, and I fell out of love with it so unbelievably fast.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hey, can we please get to why this is happening?
Can we first discuss your, quarrel with the way that I articulate myself?
Dude, it's overkill. Listen to the words.
And you know, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why I fell out of love with it, at least so quickly. Like, there was plenty of stuff that I've remade in the past. I don't know if you know this, but True Horror is based on my old short from 2011 called My Personal Hell. I've made some sequels to projects like Looping in Time, where I repurpose the idea over and over, but I elevate it and do something different with it. I mean, even the second Fourth Wall Horror short was based on this old video that I did back in 2009 with this kind of neat concept, but it was just something that I just threw together at the time and decided, you know, that deserves another go. So my question pretty much became, why did this thing in particular end up being something that fell through the cracks, and why didn't this work out?
Also, what the okay, so what, you grew up and decided the hats weren't cool anymore?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, the big thing you should know is just now I did lie about one big thing, and it's that I have never before actually remade a project. Everything that I have done that is based on an old thing has been a repurposing of a concept to create something 100% new. And I didn't realize that when I was remaking Memory Fight. I just figured that I've done this thing in the past where I've taken a concept and used it again. I figured a straight up remake would be okay, and it didn't feel right. As I was editing, it didn't really feel like I was adding anything new to this conversation or putting something new on the table regarding this concept. There was like one or two new things, some jokes were kind of changed up, and that was pretty much it. That, and of course, since I learned how to stage actors and do all that stuff in my directing class and stuff, I figured it'd be cool to actually stage this pretty well, and none of it ended up being worth recreating the entire thing. And I think at the end of the day, what it's about is how genuine it feels. You don't want to ever make something because you're feeling obligated to make something because you haven't made a short film in a while. Every time I repurposed an old idea, it was because I saw something in that idea that I haven't touched on yet. And that's one of the big things to remember, is that if a concept from the past is that worth it, it will definitely take a new shape in future projects on its own. In short, you're never really done with an idea, but I think that it's important to be done with one version of that idea when you are. That way you get to see where you improved, and you'll end up making better stuff down the line anyway. I think that is what I learned from Memory Fight. You know what? I am better. Because I'm here. I survived all of you. And you know what? I'm better off in some ways, and I'm worse off in some ways too, but I survived. I'm here now. I'm me. You had your time, and I'm gonna have mine now. And you know what? Eventually I'm gonna be a memory up there with you guys.